There is a wonderful world of choices when it comes to herbs for the garden, and especially when it comes to the many tastes of basil. Think clove or lemon essence, or how about cinnamon? Smart Gardening correspondent Monica Guzza samples the many flavors of this all-time favorite.
Renee Shepherd of Renee's Garden Seeds says that adventuresome cooks should look beyond their spice rack and into the garden for a wide variety of basil just waiting to be discovered. Basil in the garden leads to basil in the kitchen. Renee brings us 2 recipes today. So now we've collected all this beautiful basil and all of these other fresh ingredients. What should we make with it?
Well, I thought we'd make a really good pesto salad dressing or pesto sauce that we can use for lots of things.
That sounds wonderful. How do we get started?
Okay, first thing I'm going to take out what I think will be about 1.5 cups of basil leaves here. And just to be on the safe side, we've already measured some, but I wanted to just show you, you can just eyeball it. And if you made a little more or a little less, it wouldn't matter a great deal.
Okay.
So, that's our main ingredient, but we're going to start with clove garlic.
All right.
1 large clove of garlic. I'm just going to smash it in half with the base of my knife, so we don't really need to chop it up. Just
Thank goodness,
flatten it.
because that can take a lot of time sometimes.
This is a real easy recipe. We're just going to literally put everything in the blender, pulse it up, and we're done.
I love it. My kind of recipe.
I'm going to put the blender bowl on here, and I'm just going to pour everything right in it. So I've got 6 tablespoons of olive oil. This should be extra virgin olive oil, good quality.
Renee adds toasted pine nuts, grated Parmesan or Asiago cheese, dry white wine, freshly squeezed lemon juice, lemon zest, fresh oregano, flat leaf parsley, which is sweeter and nuttier than curly parsley, and the star ingredient, basil leaves. Add a couple of pinches of salt and fresh ground pepper and blend until combined. You can find Renee's recipe on our website.
I've used it on baked potatoes,
Yes.
chicken breasts, salmon fillets, put it on toast, and add a little more cheese to just broil it real quickly. Just about any time you want a pesto kind of flavoring. Oh, really nice on scrambled eggs or
That sounds
eggs over easy.
wonderful.
Yeah, so it's good to have leftovers with this one because you can use it all week and everything you cook practically.
And how long would this last if I save that in the fridge?
I would put it in the fridge for about a week and just stir it when you use it again. But it has all that wonderful flavor from the different fresh herbs and the white wine and the the pine nuts, and so it has all the great flavors.
What else can we make with basil, Renee?
Well, I've actually got a set up there to make some basil vinegar.
Oh, good. I've always wanted to know how to do that.
Well, it is really, really simple, and for this, we're going to actually use cinnamon basil.
Oh, wonderful. Here, let me pick up some of this here.
Oh, sure, that's a good
Get
idea.
this out of
Kind
the way.
Clear the deck a little bit.
Okay, so cinnamon basil. Tell me a little bit about that.
Well, actually, there's a lot more, Monica, than green basil that you're used to. There's cinnamon-flavored basil and lemon basil and anise basil, and they taste like basil with that addition. So if you smell this, it's really sweet.
Oh, that is beautiful.
It smells like cinnamon, doesn't it?
Yes, it really does.
And it has purple stems and purple flower calyxes and then pink flowers. So the first thing to do to make it into vinegar is to macerate or kind of mash this a little bit in this glass bowl to release their essential oils. So I'm just going to use the bottom of this jar.
Okay.
And this is nothing more than going like this. Just pushing it up a little bit. Just to break it down just a little bit.
Oh, and you can really smell.
Yeah, the aromatic oil comes out.
Yes.
And by the way, whatever container I use, I'm going to use this glass one. It should be non-metal. So you could use a plastic bucket. You could use a mason jar. You could use anything, and you can make any amount. You fill it full, about half full with the fresh herb. And for this, I use just stems and leaves, flowers, whatever you have. You don't have to pick off the leaves at all.
Renee says to add hot rice vinegar to cover the leaves and stems, then cover the bowl and store it in a cool, dark place for 2 weeks. The vinegar will become a rosy pink color, ready for decanters.
All you do is get your pretty bottles that you want to decant it into. Take a fresh sprig of the herb like this, and we're going to put those in the bottles just really for decoration. I'm going to use a chopstick to kind of get them in there just in case they don't want to go. That's a good little tool to use for this.
There's a stubborn one right there.
There you go. And we got one more. And by the way, these are just bottles from the kind of the discount import store, which almost all the places like that have these now, so they're easy to find.
Yeah, you see these everywhere.
And then I'm just going to ask you to hold this.
I can do that.
And we'll pretend that this has been sitting around for our amount of time we want it to.
And it's developed that beautiful rose color.
Rose color and flavor. And you simply decant it into the bottles, just like that. Now, if you wanted to make sure that you didn't get any little bits, you could strain it through a cheesecloth as you pour it in.
I don't mind the little bits so much.
And as you can see, even with just a few seconds, it's starting to get color.
Yes.
Now, I probably should tell you, okay, now you've made your beautiful vinegar. What are you going to do with it? This is really wonderful in salads. And this one with the cinnamon basil is particularly delicious. You can also use it in marinades. And you can also use it when you saute some chicken in a saute pan. You want to deglaze the pan after you take the chicken out. You put a little bit of this instead of white wine in the pan to kind of scrape up the brown bits. That's another good thing to do with basil vinegar.
And what a great gift.
It is a nice gift, especially when it's really colored up.
Yes, and coming from your own garden.